If you know me, you'll know that I love my iPad mini. And as it turns out, this thing gets even better when you add stuff to it. I still think that the iPad mini is the best iPad Apple makes. Have a go in the comments if you don't agree with me. The size, the speed, and the near perfect ergonomics just mean that this little thing is always by my side. Over the last few months, I've built an iPad mini setup which I simply couldn't live without. It consists of 4 awesome and pretty affordable accessories, which I'm going to show you in this video. All of the links can be found in the description, so let's get on with it. Pitaka makes some awesome accessories for Apple stuff. I'm a big fan, have been for a long time, but they recently sent me something which has genuinely transformed the iPad mini, both in its capabilities, but also how I use it each day. It actually consists of 2 products, and we'll start with this, which is the Mag-EZ Case Pro. It's an iPad mini case, pretty straightforward, no dramas really. It looks pretty nice. I know these things are fairly subjective, but I quite like it. It doesn't add too much weight or bulk to the iPad mini either, which is very important. It's also fully compatible with the Apple Pencil, thanks to the little groove here for the magnetized bit on your iPad. There's also this weird kind of holder thing that comes with it for the Apple Pencil. I didn't quite get that. The magnets are perfectly strong through this case, so there's no worry there at all. So yeah, thankfully you can take that little holder thing off. It might work for you. Personally, I just found it a bit odd. But this case does have one trick up its sleeve, which is related to this cross on the back. This is actually a magnetic charging pad, which kind of turns, it doesn't kind of, it turns your iPad mini into a wireless charging device. And it does this via the built-in USB-C connection, which is built into the case here. You just basically take your iPad, connect it to that USB connection, put the rest of the case on, and that's it, done, simple. And this is all part of the Pitaflow, I think that's how you pronounce it, charging and device ecosystem that Pitaka have built. And as a result of that, along with the case, you also get a little charging pad that comes with it as well. This thing here, this comes with the whole thing basically, and that attaches via that magnet to the bottom of your iPad mini. And it's a bit like MagSafe, basically. It turns your iPad mini into a MagSafe device. Sort of. Now you do need to provide your own adapter, but there is plenty of length on this cable, which is quite nice. And I just love the convenience of this. It's because the case itself doesn't add too much bulk. I just think the addition of wireless charging to your iPad mini makes it very convenient to charge. However, if you add in this guy, things get even more interesting. This is basically an iPad stand, a magnetic iPad stand. I made a video about these a little while ago, which I'll link to above if you want to check out a few of the others on the market. But this is Pitaka's version, and the great thing about this, there's a few great things about it, but the main great thing about it, obviously, is that it works with this case. So you attach your iPad mini like that, and through that charging mechanism and through a USB-C cable that goes into the bottom of this stand, your iPad mini charges while it's on the stand. And the great thing about this is that if I use this in the studio, so I have this next to my studio display over there, and I just keep the iPad mini on this stand all day, every day, and that means it's always charged and ready to go. And it's such a good stand as well. It's got these rubberized, reusable sticky things on the bottom, which means you put it on your desk and it stays there, which is great if you're taking the iPad off and putting it back on quite a lot. It's also got this great swivel mechanism which clicks as you turn it round, so you can perfectly orient it in either landscape or portrait, and it's just very sturdy. And the magnet is so strong. It's probably the strongest magnet I've come across in these kind of stands. Oh, and there's also a wireless charging pad for your phone at the bottom, which, I don't know, that's even more value in my book. When it comes to the price, this little setup isn't particularly cheap. The case is $79 and the stand is $129. But I think when you consider what it gives you as an overall package, you're getting suddenly a wireless charging iPad mini and a very, very good stand. I think it's pretty good value. Now, if you want a slightly cheaper alternative, there is one in the form of this, which is the Benx Infinity stand. I've been using this as well. This doesn't charge your iPad mini, but it is a bit cheaper than what I've just shown you. And again, very well made, classic Benx stuff. They make fantastic accessories. I'll put a link to this in the description. I talk a lot about Paperlike on this channel, but that's for two reasons. The first, full disclosure, is that they are a long-term supporter of the channel, which is lovely. But the second is because I absolutely genuinely love their screen protectors. Now, I never thought I'd say that about any screen protector. They've just not been me in the past. I just hate the idea of attaching a film to these beautiful screens. But Paperlike is different. It basically turns your iPad mini, or any iPad for that matter, into a proper notepad or sketchpad. It does this by not only adding that protective layer over the screen, but also creating a film that feels like paper. It's impossible to get this across on this video, obviously, but trust me, the first time you put a Paperlike onto your iPad, which is very easy by the way, if I can do it, you can do it, trust me. The first time you get it on there and the first time you pick up your pencil and write across that screen, you can't help but kind of say, wow. Even better, Paperlike now offers a Pro bundle, which features the screen protector, some grips for your Apple Pencil, which are very cool as well, and a brilliant little cleaning kit. Just check out the link in the description. If you've seen my previous videos on the iPad mini, you'll know that I've been hankering after Apple to produce a proper Magic Keyboard case for this little thing, which sounds crazy, but I'm not planning on writing novels on it at all. I would just love a mini version of their Magic Keyboard. They're not going to do it, I don't think, so I do have to look for third-party alternatives, and I found one which I absolutely love. I've got my YouTube mate Patrick Rambles to thank for this. I'll put a link to his brilliant channel in the description to say thank you. But this is the Air 60 wireless mechanical keyboard. I've just realized I wanted to show you this part of it later, so hang on. This is the Air 60 mechanical keyboard from NuPhy. The 60 refers to the fact that it is 60% the size of a full-sized keyboard, which means it's lacking the function keys at the top of the keyboard. But that's fine, because it also means that it is super portable. In fact, it's pretty much the most portable mechanical keyboard you're ever going to find on the market at the moment. If you weren't aware, mechanical keyboards are basically like the old-fashioned keyboards we used at school. They have proper switches beneath the keys, and they kind of click and clack in a very satisfying way. You can hear it here. It's nice, isn't it? It's a nice sound. If you find the right mechanical keyboard, you will fall in love with typing all over again. I certainly did. And this Air 60 that I was sent by NuPhy has the Gateron brown low profile switches. You can choose lots of different types of switch depending on what you want the feel to be like. And it's very comfortable to type on this one. It is noisier than your average travel keyboard for the iPad mini, and you'll need to take that into consideration if you're going to be using it in coffee shops and public places. But I haven't really experienced that to be much of an issue with this one. It doesn't bother me too much, and I don't think it's bothered many people around me. Now this keyboard does have a bunch of features which are quite interesting. It's got the kind of lights beneath the keys that you tend to get on a mechanical keyboard, but it's also got two switches on the back as well. So one for switching between Windows and Mac compatibility, and another one for switching between the wireless Bluetooth connection and a wired USB-C connection. But what I really love about this keyboard is what happens when you pair it with the new Folio. It really is one of those why didn't I think of it products. So the new Folio is this, and it's basically, well, it's two things really. It's a case for this keyboard, so you very quickly open it up like that, pop the keyboard here, it attaches via magnets, and then you wrap it up nice and securely, and there you go. You can lob that into your bag, not worry about it. It's not going to fall out of there at all, and it looks very nice as well. However, it also doubles as a stand for your iPad. So if we open it back up like this, and then basically position it like that, I can get my iPad, pop it on there, and even if I want to, there's space for my phone as well. But you've suddenly got this little kind of iPad keyboard stand. It's so clever. The only thing worth mentioning is that you do have to find a table that isn't slippy. I found that on certain surfaces, this back part of it is kind of prone to moving and slipping away, but that's a minor gripe really. It's just such a neat way of taking your iPad mini around with a very good mechanical keyboard and keeping it all protected as well. It's just Brilliant. I love this thing. It's fantastic. Now, price-wise, the Air 60 is about $130. They do lots of different versions of this keyboard as well, so you can get bigger ones if you want to. But $130 for this one, and the new folio is around $20, which combined, when you get this little package, I think is pretty good value. And even better news is that if you use the code MARK at checkout, you'll get 10% off. Check out the link in the description. I'm always on the lookout for a nice sleeve to keep my iPads protected, and Harber London, who I'm a big fan of, may have sent me the best one I've used so far. This is the Slim Microfiber Evo, and it's really rather lovely. If you've not heard of Harber London before, I have featured them quite a bit on this channel. They hand make loads of bags, accessories, and wallets, but I'm a big fan of their tech stuff. And I think this slipcase for the iPad mini is a great example of the quality you get if you spend just a little bit more on your accessories. It fits the iPad mini perfectly, so even with the Pitaka case on, it goes in there no trouble whatsoever. Also, if you've got an iPad mini Smart Folio from Apple, it fits that as well. And it also has a built-in Apple Pencil holder, which you can just quickly slot your pencil in there. Brilliant, done. You can grab it in leather as well, but I opted for this microfiber option just because I really like the look of it. It feels great, and I love the color. It's very soft on the outside, very soft on the inside as well, obviously. And thus far, it hasn't worn badly at all. I've used this every day. It gets chucked in my backpack, chucked around the house, and it still looks lovely. I think if you don't mind spending a bit on your accessories for your iPad mini, and you value the kind of handmade aesthetic and the quality that you get from that, I'd really give Harber London stuff a look. This costs around £60 or around $75, and as always, you'll find the link in the description. I hope you found something of interest for your own iPad mini today, but more importantly, I'd love to hear from you. What have I missed out? What is your favorite iPad accessory? iPad mini, iPad Pro, whatever you like. Get involved in the comments. And if you're hungry for more iPad content, keep watching for a video I made recently where I reveal why I've bought an M1 iPad Air. I think you'll find that quite interesting.